Hi, this is Dr. Franklin Allaire from the University of Houston downtown, and in this video breakdown, we're going to begin exploring Domain B, Physical Science, by taking a closer look at Science Teaching Competencies 7 and 8. Before we get started, spoiler alert. Please make sure that you filled out the first two columns of your KWL 2.0 chart and have answered the discussion prompts. If you haven't, please pause this video and take 7 to 10 minutes to write down and share what you already know and what you want to learn about competencies 7 and 8. Competencies 7 and 8 get us into Domain B, which covers the physical sciences. Competency 7 says, the teacher understands forces in motion and their relationships. Competency 8 says, the teacher understands the physical and chemical properties of and changes in matter. As we saw in the first three modules, there's a lot wrapped up in each of these competencies. For this reason, both competencies 7 and 8 have been broken down into multiple sub-competencies. The sub-competencies for science teaching competency number 7 are: the beginning teacher demonstrates an understanding of the properties of universal forces, such as gravitational, electrical, and magnetic, understands how to measure, graph, and describe changes in motion by using concepts of position, direction of motion, and speed, analyzes the ways unbalanced forces acting on an object cause changes in the position or motion of the object. This includes Newton's first and third laws of motion, and analyzes the relationship between force and motion, which is Newton's second law of motion, in a variety of situations, such as simple machines and geologic processes. The sub-competencies for science teaching competency number 8 are: the beginning teacher describes and measures the physical and chemical properties of substances, such as size, shape, temperature, magnetism, hardness, mass, conduction, and density. Describes the physical properties of solids, liquids, and gases. Distinguishes between physical and chemical changes in matter. Applies knowledge of physical and chemical properties, including atomic structure, of and changes in matter to processes and situations that occur in life and in earth and space science. Distinguishes between elements, compounds, mixtures, and solutions, and describes their properties. And describes and explains the occurrence and importance of a variety of chemical reactions that occur in daily life, including rusting, burning of fossil fuels, photosynthesis, cell respiration, chemical batteries, and digestion of food. Now that we've learned about the competencies and sub-competencies covered in this module, it's time to dive a little bit deeper into some of the topics. In the Explore section, you'll be watching some videos that cover various topics contained within the competencies. Module 4 focuses on science teaching competencies 7 and 8 and includes 4 areas of exploration and 14 videos total. In this module, you'll have the opportunity to explore areas that include Newton's laws, forces in motion, matter, and physical and chemical properties and changes. Now, you might be thinking that 14 videos and 4 areas of exploration for this module seems like a lot, especially when you think about the previous 3 modules that focused on Domain A. Don't worry, there's a method to our madness. Historically speaking, teacher candidates seeking the EC6 certification area have had some difficulties with passing the science portion of the core subjects exam. So for this reason, we've tried hard to break down some of these more difficult areas into smaller bite-sized chunks to help you gain a better understanding of the physical science content that you need to know in order to pass the certification exam. Not only that, as a teacher candidate seeking the EC6 certification area, you are expected to be familiar enough with these topics to be able to teach them in an EC6 classroom. So again, it may seem like there's a lot of content here, but The method to the madness is that we want to break these down into a way that will make it easier for you to understand, not only for the exam, but also for your future classroom. Now, as you're going through these different explorations, we want you to think about the following guiding questions for each of the science teaching competencies in Module 4. The guiding questions for science teaching competency number 7 that we would like you to think about are: how can teachers leverage their understanding of forces in motion and their relationships to create engaging and effective learning experiences to help students grasp these fundamental physics concepts? In what ways does a teacher's comprehension of forces in motion contribute to addressing common misconceptions and facilitating deeper learning among students? And how can they tailor their instruction to promote concept mastery? And lastly, for competency 7, can you provide examples of real-world applications where a teacher's knowledge of forces in motion is essential? And how might this understanding be integrated into the classroom to enhance students' scientific literacy and problem-solving skills? The guiding questions for science teaching competency number 8 are: how does a teacher's understanding of the physical and chemical properties of matter influence their ability to design hands-on experiments and activities that promote a deeper comprehension of these concepts among their students? In what ways can teachers apply their knowledge of the properties and changes in matter to help students appreciate the practical implications and everyday relevance of chemistry in their lives? And finally, can you provide examples of how a teacher's expertise in this area can foster a deeper understanding of complex chemical reactions and the conservation of matter? And how might they help students connect these concepts to real-world applications and environmental issues? To help you fully engage in the videos, I strongly recommend downloading the guided note-taking documents. I also recommend having a notebook handy, so that way you can take notes about anything that's covered in any of the videos and to write down some questions that you may still have after watching the videos.